opening bonus. So what is the business opening bonus? It's very simple. Once you start the business, you can, take this business to the next level by building a team. How do you build a team? More than one individual is called as a team. So you have started the business. The company gives you a virtual office to develop your business. And in your virtual office, the company provides you two zones, the left zone and the right zone. And all that you need to do is talk to few individuals about this business, about the product, and help them to understand this business. And if they are interested to be a part of your business, you can sponsor them in your organization. So the left side, you sponsor the first person, and the right side, you sponsor the second person. So this begins, your business. This begins your team, your organization. So that's what the company calls it as the business opening bonus. You've sponsored one on your left and one on your right, and that's the opening of your business. So let's assume you have sponsored Mr. Anand in your, left side. Immediately, the company gives you 500 rupees, which is, the first incentive for starting your business. So business opening bonus of 500 rupees will be credited to your account online. And once you sponsor Mr. Ravi, right, you would be again paid 500 rupees. So that sums up to a total of 1000 rupees. So very simple. You started the business with 100 PV. You sponsored Mr. Anand, he also started the business with 100 PV, and then you sponsored Mr. Ravi, he started the business with 100 PV. So all that is simple. So you are eligible to earn 500 plus 500, so that is 1000 rupees. Right, now let's look at what happens now. So once you're left and right, you have sponsored Mr. Anand and Mr. Ravi. If you have, let's say, few more of your friends whom you want to sponsor into the business, definitely you can sponsor them, but not directly, because you have only 2 slots to sponsor your close people, to the right and to the one to the right, one to the left, right? After that, if you have the third person, you can sponsor him below Mr. Ravi. If you have the fourth person, you can sponsor him below Mr. Anand. What happens is that your business opening bonus is paid for the first level. The next level, the business goes, at a different manner, and that income is paid to you in a different level, right? So let me explain to you about that. So once you sponsor Mr. Anand and Mr. Ravi, let's talk about sponsoring Mr. Anand and Ravi. How much time would you take to sponsor Mr. Anand and Mr. Ravi? It depends on, depends on you, how much of your time you want. So, but if at all you are able to do this in a, quick manner, the company gives something called as the fourth income, which is called as the Quick Star bonus. So what is Quick Star bonus? Let's understand this in a very simple manner. This is you. Let's say you started the business with 100 PV, right? So you sponsor Mr. A and Mr. B. So when you sponsor Mr. A and B, within 2, business closing weeks, because every Friday the business cutoff is done and the accounts are settled and the incentive is paid in the coming Tuesday. So once you start the business, the first Friday of your business and the second Friday, so within 2 Fridays, if you complete your left and right sponsoring of Mr. A and B with 100 PV each, so you would be called as a Quick Star, and the Quick Star bonus is 1000 rupees. So all those who are very quick, to take a decision and to kickstart their business, so they would be eligible, to get this Quick Star bonus. I urge all of you to achieve this Quick Star bonus, in the first week itself, because this will set a standard and a momentum in your team, and that will help you to further take the business to the next level, right? Now, the quick start bonus is the fourth income, and now let me talk to you about the next income. So friends, that brings us to the next type of income, which is called as the team bonus, which is fifth income. Team bonus. So this is when you start developing your team, and after that you start growing to a bigger level. So you started the business with 100 PV, you sponsored Mr. A and Mr. B, and now what happens is you help them to further develop the business, right? So as you sponsored Mr. A and B and you completed your star level and maybe a quick star, so help Mr. A and B also to become a quick star. So that's helping Mr. A to sponsor Mr. A1 and A2. You work with them and you help them to further sponsor their friends into the business. So this happens, and they become stars and they get the business opening bonus and the quick start bonus most probably if they qualify within 2 weeks. And now what happens? How is the team bonus calculated out here? So let me explain to you. So you have 100 PV from all these individuals. So your volume on your left is totally 200 GV. The volume on your right is 200 GV, the total volume. So how the team bonus is calculated is 200 from your left into 5%, which is 10, and 200 into 5%, which is 10. So you earn a 10 GBU from your left and 10 GBU on your right. So which is again 10. When you say how does this get calculated? 10 into the GBU of this company, it is 1 GBU is equal to 100 Indian rupees. So when you have 10 GBU, that is 10 into 100, that is 1000, and again 10 into 100, which is again 1000. So your total payout is 2000 rupees. So let's have a simple way of calculating this, that is 200 GBU from your left and 200 GBU from your right earns you a team bonus of 2000 rupees. And let's now go to the next level. So what would be your total income at this point of time? Let's make a calculation here. So you sponsor Mr. A and B. So your business opening bonus is 500 plus 500 rupees, that is 1000 rupee. And further you achieved quick star also. So your quick star bonus is 1000 rupee. And then your team bonus is equal to 2000 rupees. So your total earning at this point in time is 4000 rupees. So that's a very good way to begin your business, right? Now let me take you, to the deeper levels of team bonus. So what would happen when you have a massive team? How would you develop yourself from an individual to an organization? So let me explain to you. So I need more space here, so I'm going to write it again. Let's see. So you started the business, you sponsored, okay, Mr. A and Mr. B. Fine. Now the first week incentive you received, then when you have, this way, so your total earning was at this point in time was, let's say, 2000 rupees. So what would happen at the next level? So let's imagine, this week closing is done. The next week, there is someone who's sponsored here, right? And one is sponsored out here. And then we have somebody sponsored here, okay? So the volume in this particular week, if you see, it is 100 plus 100. Again, we have 100 out here and 100 out here. So what is the total output from your organization? It is 200 GV and 200 GV. There might be, a question here in your minds. that the tree is not getting filled, or the duplication or the business is not going in the perfect manner. That is not needed here, because this is not kind of a thing which will affect your income. So your incentive will be uninterrupted even if the business goes in this manner. What the company says, for calculating the team bonus, they just need the total volume on your left and total volume on your right. So in this case, again, when there is 200 GV on your left and 200 on your right, another week you will be again paid 2000 rupees incentive, which means that the business team bonus is calculated on the total output from your left zone and total output from your right zone, right? And further, how will your team start developing? Let me explain to you. It's called as the effect of teamwork. How would you develop your team, right? So I just need to use this theory, because this theory is worked for hundreds and hundreds of people around the world, and it will definitely work for you, right? How does this happen? It's called as the effect of teamwork. You started the business, okay, and what is your team strength right now? It's only you, right? So when you sponsor Mr. A and Mr. B, your team is you plus 2. It is 3 people. Now you have a team, right? You have Mr. A and Mr. B working with you. So let's say Mr. A and Mr. B. Now you work with your sponsor, and you help Mr. A and Mr. B to further recruit 2 people in their organization each. So the team now is 3 of you, you plus AB plus new 4, associates you got, and your team strength is now 7. From 3, it is increased to 7. And all 7 of you are into the system now, and you help them to further recruit distributors in their organization. If you ask me in a simple way, the best formula would be help them to achieve the star rank, which is sponsoring one on their left and one on their right. So now what happens is, the 7 of you help further, yourselves as a team. You sponsored 8 new people into the organization. So your team strength is now increased to 15. And now 15 of you work together collectively as a team, as a community, and you help the people to further recruit 2 people on their left and on their right. So what happens out here is, you have added, the 15 of you have added 16 new people into the organization, which sums up to 31. So the team strength is further increasing to 31. So 31 of you work together as a team, as a community, and you sponsor 16 new people on your left and 16 new people on the right. So the team strength automatically, from 31, it can again add 32 people easily. So your team, you are able to add 32 new people into your team without much effort, because it's a teamwork. So this is how an individual with the effect of teamwork can transform himself into an organization. Okay, now this is the key to increase your team bonus. So if you focus on the effect of teamwork, this theory, and if you practice this definitely will help you to increase the output of the volume which is generated by your team, and in turn your team bonus will definitely shoot up. Okay, now let me tell you further what happens. So your team bonus is calculated based on the volumes you generate in your organization. So we have 32 cases on your left and 32 cases on your right. So 32 into 100, it is again, the total volume is 3200 GV on your left and 3200 GV on your right. So you will be paid 32,000 rupees as team bonus. Further, and now let's understand, the team is further growing, and let's say you have 100 cases sold in your left zone. So that is 10,000 GV, and you have 10,000 GV on your right, 100 cases on your right. So your payout in that particular week would be 1 lakh rupees. And further, let's say you have 250 cases, that is nothing but 25,000 GV on your left and 25,000 GV on your right. So your payout would be a whopping 2,50,000 rupees. And what happens further? This is a point wherein the company calls this as the capping, or the maximum limit what an individual can earn as a team bonus. So what happens here is the weekly capping is fixed at 2,50,000. Let me give you an example to further understand that. Let's say you have 400 cases on your left, so that's about 40,000 GV, and you have about 40,000 GV on your right. According to the calculation what we have been following, you were supposed to earn a 4 lakh incentive here, but the company has got a limit of not paying you beyond 2.5 lakhs. So you will be again paid 2,50,000 rupees only, as that is the weekly capping of primary business center, team bonus, right? Okay, now let me tell you more about, how this can be achieved further and how you can go to the next level, right? So now there is something called as, a repurchase, because every product based company, repurchase is the monthly minimum activity level which the company, requires, and it's also the statutory requirement. So what would happen when you develop a huge organization and you have, the repurchase happening in your organization without even a single new recruitment, right? That's called as the advantage of repurchase. So let's say this is you, and you have, 100 team members active in your organization on your left and 100 team members on your right. And they make a monthly minimum purchase of 25 PV, which is, let's say, one bottle of iPulse or a single box of iCoffee, or it can be iCare as well. So when somebody makes a minimum of 25 PV purchase, 100 people, individuals on your left, 100 individuals on your right, your monthly income is 25,000 rupees, which is a very smart income. Let's look at another scenario where you have 200 people on your left and 200 people, active people on your right, and they do a minimum purchase of, let's say, 50 PV. They might be doing it for their personal use or to retail it and whatsoever. So let's imagine, let's imagine that it's one bottle of iPulse and one box of iCoffee. So which is 50 PV business generated by 200 people on your left and 200 people on your right. Your monthly income would be 1 lakh rupees. This is again the advantage of repurchase. And now let me take it to the next level. Let's say you have 400 people on your right and 400 people on your left, and they do a minimum business of one case, that is 100 PV. When they do this, that is 400 people on your left and 400 people on your right, a minimum business of 100 PV, your monthly income would be 4 lakh rupees, which is a very, very, good income. And to make you further understand how this can give you, the ceiling or the capping income from this business, let's say you have about 1,000 individuals on your left and 1,000 individuals on your right over a period of time. Let's say you have, developed a team, and they do a minimum business of 100 PV. When they do this, that is 1,000 people on your left and 1,000 people on your right, a minimum business of one case, that is 100 PV, your monthly incentive will be 10 lakh rupees, which is again talking about the capping. So you would be able to maintain your capping income on a regular basis, even without a single new recruitment in your organization. About 10 lakh rupees monthly is possible with 1,000 active distributors on your left and 1,000 on your right, with a minimum monthly purchase or a minimum business of 100 PV each. So this is the advantage of repurchase, right? That's wonderful.